Fox 61 News at 10 starts now.
And breaking news here at 10, police are searching for a man accused of killing a 1-year-old girl. Officers say they found his car abandoned on a highway, and tonight we have all the latest from police on their search.
Plus, one Connecticut neighborhood on edge tonight as police have been in a standoff all evening long. We'll go live to the scene with the very latest.
And we'll hear from state regulators about why they can't do anything about proposed rate hikes that could make your electric bill a lot more expensive. But we begin with that breaking news here at 10, a statewide manhunt for a man accused of killing a 1-year-old girl. Good evening, I'm Sarah Sanchez.
And I'm Ben Goldman. Thanks for joining us here at 10. Officers have been searching all evening long for this man here, 31-year-old Christopher Francis Sweeney. They found his car abandoned on I-91 in New Haven, but they're still out looking for him. Fox 61's DeAndrea Turner has been following this story for us all day and all night. She joins us live from the original scene in Naugatuck with new information we're learning tonight. DeAndrea?
Well, you guys, you can see that the scene is still very active. Like you said, there is an all hands on deck. This is an all hands on deck situation. Naugatuck police are here, state police are here, and across the state, people in different agencies are looking for the man who was on the run tonight. From 11:30 this morning into the late hours of the night, police are still searching for this man, Christopher Francis Sweeney.
This is all still very active, still very much underway.
He is accused of killing a 1-year-old little girl in their Naugatuck home. How this happened and what events led up to this moment are still under investigation. The murder shaking up neighbors nearby.
I mean, who does that? I mean, I can't get over it. I have 11 grandchildren and 6 kids, so I can't wrap my mind around it.
Police found the suspect's car abandoned on I-91 near exit 8 in New Haven, but still no sign of him.
I feel nervous because, you know, just it being this close, I don't know.
And on top of that, Francis Sweeney has an extensive criminal history that police aren't taking lightly either.
And it's not lost on me that we are discussing another offender in our community who has an extensive criminal history of violent acts and violent crimes, who is out as an offender in our community.
While the manhunt continues, a family is now preparing to plan a funeral for their 1-year-old little girl.
I just want to send my condolences to the family. It just, my heart breaks for them.
You guys, people are on edge tonight, from community members to officers responding to the scene and searching for the man tonight, and especially family members. For now, here in Naugatuck, DeAndrea Turner, Fox 61 News.
DeAndrea, thank you. We're also following breaking news in Wethersfield tonight as police are in a standoff after officers tried to serve a search warrant. The scene's been active all evening long as residents in one neighborhood have been asked to shelter in place. Fox 61's Gabby Molina has been there for us all evening long. She joins us with what we're learning about this situation in Wethersfield now. Gabby?
Ben, it's still a very active situation that Wethersfield police have described as contained, but you can see behind me that Prospect Street is still blocked off here tonight. Not much has changed. It's closed off between Ridge Road and Willow Street, and people are still being asked to avoid this area. A scary afternoon for Wethersfield residents as tactical teams descended on their Collier Farms neighborhood, and they were asked to shelter in place.
We received a text message to shelter in place, and we had to respond to it. I received a phone call also with a message, an automated call from the Wethersfield police requesting acknowledgement of the shelter in place.
Wethersfield police say they were trying to serve an arrest warrant along with the Capital Region Emergency Services team, the East Hampton Police Department, and the Newington Police Department. It's not clear what happened, but police could be heard trying to speak to someone over a megaphone. Officers were seen bringing in a battering ram and tactical equipment. Police were on the scene throughout the day, according to neighbors.
And this was at about 11-ish, and the police were there, and that little entrance to the cul-de-sac was blocked by a police officer. Something escalated between 11 and 1.
Other neighbors who spoke to Fox 61 off camera said they were not able to return to their homes and weren't given a timeline of how long it would be. Wethersfield schools were not impacted by the situation. The Board of Education said none of the schools were placed on lockdown, and dismissal continued as normal. The heavy police presence out of the norm for the typically quiet area, but neighbors said they trusted police had it under control.
I mean, I'm concerned, obviously, for the safety of the police as well as our safety, everyone's safety, but it seems like this is specific to someone in a particular person or residence.
And there are still a lot of unknowns here. We don't know what that arrest warrant was for or how many people are in the home where this is taking place. We are going to continue to follow this very closely. So stay with Fox 61 for updates. Live in Wethersfield, Gabby Molina, Fox 61 News.
Thank you, Gabby. And to get the latest updates on these breaking news stories, download the free Fox 61 News app. You can also use it as a great resource for weather alerts, traffic conditions all across the state.
I want to move along here and get a check on the forecast tonight with Chief Meteorologist Rachel Frank as we're heading into the weekend. Hi, Rach.
Hi, guys. And a few flakes to kind of kick things off heading into the weekend. This is from CT Mets fan as he was finishing dinner in New Haven. Got some pizza, got some pasta, and then greeted. You can kind of see it here in the light there with some flakes flying through the air. And Ralph's Weather Obs in West Norwalk. You could see a couple of snowflakes actually sticking here to the porch or the deck banister there. Most of this is already done, but you could see it moving through Fairfield, New Haven counties. Now starting to fizzle, but southeastern Connecticut, you guys likely seeing your first flakes of the season because that last little snow event that we ended up having started off as rain for these folks. So Groton, New London, Mystic, a few snowflakes. Give it another 15 minutes or so and this whole little disturbance will be out of here and will be dry for the rest of the night. No rest though for the weary up in the Great Lakes where, my goodness, almost record amounts of snow have fallen. Let's take a look at wind gusts right now, 15, 20 miles per hour, so it is a bit breezy. Temperatures are in the 30s for most of the state, upper 20s right now in Torrington. And it's a cold night ahead with overnight lows dipping back into the 20s as we head towards daybreak tomorrow. And tomorrow is looking like another chilly day. High temperatures will only climb into the low 40s, not as windy as today was, and bright sunshine. And then it turns blustery and colder heading into the second half of the weekend on Sunday. The wind chill will not make it out of the 20s all day on Sunday. We'll take a look at your weekend forecast and a sneak peek ahead to Thanksgiving week, what you need to know for travel plans coming up.
Rachel, thank you. And speaking of those temperatures, Hartford has opened its emergency overnight warming center as the city temporarily activates its cold weather protocols. It's at the Arroyo Recreation Center at Pope Park. They'll have snacks and a hot meal for anyone who needs food as well. The warning center will be open nightly from 8 p.m. to 7 a.m. until Tuesday morning.
Well, new developments tonight. Police arrest a Waterbury man in connection to a shooting. A Naugatuck police officer was shot while working undercover this week. Investigators say Jason Perez was in the car with the shooter Wednesday night but did not fire at police. Perez turned himself into police and appeared in court today. The shooting happened along Chase Parkway near the I-84 on-ramp. A violent crime task force was serving an arrest warrant for someone else wanted on a different shooting. The undercover officer was reportedly followed and then shot while in the car. He was shot in the shoulder and is recovering at home. Police are still looking for the shooter tonight.
We have a follow-up to last night's big consumer alert about how your electric bills could be a lot more expensive next year. The state regulatory agency, PURA, says that there's nothing it can do about the proposed rate hikes by Eversource and United Illuminating. The increases would start January 1st. They would add $85 a month to Eversource bills and $79 a month to bills for UI. The head of PURA says the agency can only push on delivery charges, and state law prevents PURA from stopping this kind of rate hike.
It's not like a rate hike that we might see on the delivery side of the table, where PURA has the ability to scrutinize those rate hikes and we can modify, we can reject those rate hikes. There is no comparable mechanism on the generation side.
Utility companies can only charge you what it costs them to supply you with energy, but people we spoke with say that companies making multi-million-dollar profits should also help out their customers.
New at 10, an iconic castle in Connecticut's getting a nearly $1 million upgrade. The state's giving $900,000 to Gillette Castle State Park in East Haddam. The terrace overlook next to the castle will be restored, and a new drainage system and railings will also be installed. The wall facing the Connecticut River will also get fixed. The castle will be closed until the spring, but the Park and Visitor Center will stay open. The project's part of more than $51 million for needed infrastructure and improvements included at state parks.